Hey guys, I kind of need your help for my internship. I'm kind of lost.
Yes, what happened?
So basically, we're preparing to go to a factory to gather data and do some certain analysis. And it's control charts and capability analysis. And I know we saw it in class. It's just, it
Yes.
was such a long time ago that I kind of forgot a bit about it. So I know we were in that class together and I want to know if you can help me remember. I sent Anna in some of the links because I was like crashing out at 2 a.m. But basically, we used a virtual simulator for creating like a duck toy. And it had different parts, and the part my team was in charge of analyzing
Is
was
the simulator?
yeah, it's a simulator. Yeah, it was like it's that one. So basically, we have that part, and they asked us to just like record the data of like each of those duck bodies into an
Okay.
Excel and basically measure if it's capable or not. And we did it like they asked us to get different measurements throughout the day in order to simulate it. In the plant, they asked us to do it for like 3 months or so, but they want to know we're capable of doing that. So in the Excel we made, we collected the data literally manually every like 10 minutes or so throughout the day.
The
And
Excel?
yeah, we got it. That's the analysis we did, just that I it's so many numbers and we all of my team did it that I kind of forgot. But I do know they asked us to repeat the measurement 15 times and they asked for 20 subgroups. So first off, they asked us to do control charts. Do you remember those?
Yes, they were like X bars, U charts, and that kind.
Yeah, which one would I use for doing like 20 subgroups?
You can use the X bar, I
Oh,
think so. Or
there were two, right? There was like an R chart. An IMR, there were three, I think.
Yes,
X
yes.
bar,
The IMR is the one for only one measurement. The
okay.
R is like between 2 and 8, 9, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then the X chart is for more.
Okay, so since it's 20, I think, okay, they used the X bar. Okay, that's fine. And then they also like asked us to analyze them. So I know there were two methods we could use them. The Excel one and the Minitab one, but I don't really understand what we actually did in Excel. I just got the Minitab one because I remember that one was the easiest. But how did you do you remember how to do that, Anakaran?
Yes, I think these are like constants from a table. And then
Okay.
these are the formulas to calculate like the internal, like these
Mm-hmm.
limits, like the central
Oh,
limit,
okay.
the superior and inferior limit from between like the chart.
Uh-huh.
So from here, like I don't know if you remember that X bar, like just one bar, is like the average, like of all the
Of the measurements, yeah,
between them.
yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
between them, like from from here up to here, like the first sample, the second sample, and like that. But then
Okay.
when it is X bar, it is like the average of all these measurements,
Uh-huh.
and then you can calculate these ones.
Okay.
And from the chart, and I don't remember that much. Do you remember more, Letty?
yes, for the S bar is like kind of the same like we do on the X bar,
Mm-hmm.
but in that table, like we like also we have to do the like the best. I don't remember like I remember like the
Wasn't I
formula,
think
but
wasn't S for standard deviation?
yes, it's the
Yes.
Ah,
standard
Ah,
okay,
yes.
deviation
okay,
So
of
okay.
all data.
it is
Okay.
like the standard deviation of the of those ones, and then
Okay.
it's bar like the average of that one.
And the S bar is the average of all the standard deviations.
Huh.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
And then
That's is
we
the bar.
got okay, so I used the Minitab one, like the XSS chart. I remembered like how to put that because I was obsessed with Minitab. I really liked it. But once I got the result, like there were the S bar looks fine. I think I think for the charts we set the specification limits. Like we put them ourselves.
Ah,
Do
yes,
you?
I remember that. Like there was also another superior and inferior limit that you
Mhm.
can put like based on maybe they wrote it over here. I just it seems it is like 3 and 5, since like three
Okay.
is the shorter number and then 5 the greater.
Okay. So like basically you set those based on the
Yes,
specifications
these
you
ones
want.
are like the ones you like the client, and then
Okay.
these start the one like from statistical.
Analysis. Okay, okay. So once we got the S chart, which is the S chart, I think what it is telling us in the Minitab version is that the I don't know, another teammate helped me do the analysis, but what I remember is that because all the points are within the two red lines, which are the specification limits, or the upper, yeah, yeah, upper specification limit and the lower specification limits, that means the process is in control regarding the means between each subgroup. So like all the recordings from 1010 were like around the same average, like around 4 or something. So that's okay. But for the S chart, the one below, I have two red points that have like the one there. So I think those were out of control. How was it though?
I
Do you
remember
remember?
something about like the
Or
Western electric rules, but I don't know if
um
Letty remembers more about which were the rules.
Oh
okay.
yeah, I think that these 2 points that are red
Uh-huh.
indicators like something in the process was not normal. Like maybe they were like so high of about like the average we have,
Okay, okay.
and those points are like out of control. So in the Western rules, which means there are like a special case affecting this data.
Ah, okay, okay. So I also like from my Minitab, when I did the Minitab, it told me like below test one that it was that both points, 6 and 9, I think those were the numbers, failed at the test number one. The test number one, if I recall correctly, was like the three standard deviations. So like they deviate more than that. Okay, so if I have an out of control point, how would I go about the capability analysis, or what would I do from
If I
there?
remember correctly, since they didn't pass the Western electric rules, you cannot do the capability analysis, since that one
Okay.
is only like the first rule for doing the capability analysis is that the process is in a statistical control and it's statistically stable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if you could do it, or probably maybe they did it. Yes, I think they did
Probably
it, but
you can do it, but maybe more like know what is happening real and maybe detect like the main like data that was wrong.
I mean, but because like my team did it, and I was in charge of the data recollection and like one other parts. I mean, my team did it, but I don't think like from what you were saying that in order for the capability process and capability analysis can be done, the process has to be in control. So if the X bar and the S chart are like X bar is in control, but the S chart is not in control, that means that for it to be in control, both of these charts have to be in control. So the process is statistically unstable due to the variability of the standard deviation between groups or
yeah.
within groups. Which was it?
um
Because I know that the X bar measures the variability between groups. Isn't it? Because if when my team did the S one, for example, like I can see if you click on the 3.16, you can see that the standard deviation between, yeah, within groups, the standard deviation within groups.
yes, I think it is like within the group.
Yeah, yeah, okay. And then, yeah. So,
And actually, if you see here, they even highlighted those like anomalies
okay,
that they
yeah.
were higher. So I think like from here it comes the problem.
Okay, so
Because
these
actually I
two.
think it is the only one with three. Maybe it
And
was like a mistake when typing it because it seems
yeah.
like the simulator goes really fast. Like look, there are like three pieces together.
Yeah.
Probably
I
from their
mean,
computer.
in order to go further into the capability analysis, we would have to investigate why those two were special causes. So, like, for example, just like you said, the simulator goes fast and then they have different numbers, etc. Especially, I think a mistake could be that we have to type it down individually, and since it goes really fast, um,
Yes.
we can't record the numbers well.
Yes,
Like, because it's from memory also, it's partially from memory if it goes really fast.
I
And
also
it could
see that
also,
like they recorded it the same day. So
yeah.
probably it would have been better. Maybe you had short time left for like taking at least a week or 3 days to see
Okay.
like how it varies over time.
Yeah. I mean, it could also be like it could also affect like I noticed they're at the start, but maybe like it's once the machine is being set up and everything, so maybe it also has a mistake there. Like you have to wait until the machine is heated, or I don't know, something like that. It could also be the operator, like the person who wrote it down could have written it wrong or observed it wrong. I don't know.
Yes.
And so from basically the process is not in control. So we can't move forward to the capability analysis until those points are investigated, right? And another thing we could also do is to standardize a process. Like we have in the duck thingy, we have the machine set up and all that, but maybe the setup of the machine was done incorrectly. For example, the exit speed of the part, we could adjust that in order to eliminate the error of having to do it by memory. And then we could redo the X bar start and then perform the capability analysis. But like when I get to that point, what does I remember CP, CPK, PP, and PPK. What do they mean?
Yes, I think CP is from the capability of the process, and
Okay.
CPK, like CP and CPK are similar, but CPK is like the actual one, and CP is like how it will fit between those limits, and then the CPK like how it actually fits. And from the
And Letty, do
PP,
you remember? PP and
The
PPK.
PPPK it like shows like the real performance, including any variation over time of this data, and I think the CPK uh, is like shows the actual capability, consider the process, and uh, also like the limits.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, I don't know. The CP and the CPK, one was short term and one was long term, right? No. Was it? I don't remember.
no, yes, but it is between CP and PP.
Ah, okay.
Like they
Okay.
measure the same, but the CP is like short term, PP is long term, and it also has to
Okay.
do like on the CP is just like in here, if you notice, they use like with the M because it's just like from this sample. And then the P, I think
Oh,
it's like from everything, not just like the sample.
so like CP and
Like from the
CPK
whole
is used for
population.
samples and PP and PPK is used for population.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And which one should I use like to discuss the final like which one is the most used in like real time in real life?
I think both of them are
Like
needed.
the CP? Okay. What was yeah. CPK then shows how centered the data is or how was that in the capability analysis? Which one shows how centered it is? Do you remember?
I think CPK no.
Yes, I think so too.
And CP, what does CP explain then? So like one is how centered, how it fits, or one was fits. I do remember that. The other one was
The CP is like more like how good is the process, like between the limits, and the other one is like focus more on the center limits.
okay. So CP is how well the data would fit between the specification limits, and the CPK will be how centered it is between the specification limits.
Yes.
Okay. And I think the CPK calculates like the upper one and the lower one, and then takes the minimum, right? Yeah, no?
Yes.
Okay. So in conclusion, I'm gonna tell my team to do another sample, I think. What do you think my team should do so I can send over feedback to them?
Yes, I think take other samples, maybe like another day
And also
in the evening
Okay.
with more
like
time.
yes, like more time for like register the data, and
Okay.
all only like do it like in a short time.
And should one person record the data or should a few of them record the data?
Mm.
Maybe like one person.
Okay. Okay. So I think thank you so much for your help. I know you were studying for an exam, so
Yes, don't
thank
worry.
you. And I'll tell you how my team does because
Yes.
like we're competing like this analysis is in order to go to the factory, but we're also competing because they were gonna give us a reward at the end. So I'll tell you if I
Oh,
get it at the end.
well, I hope you do.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, see you later.
Yes,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.